Boston, and Uhas with the tip, and here's Caitlin. And right away, the cheers erupt. And a turnover right off the bat for a Lynx.
The prodigy Caitlin Clark arrived on the court with evidence to refute Cheryl Reeve, the coach who had passed her over for the Olympic squad in the game between Indiana Fever versus Minnesota Lynx. This game had a pulse, a heartbeat ringing with history and atonement, not simply another game on the calendar. Clark didn't hold back when addressing the Minnesota Lynx and their head coach, Cheryl Reeve.
Game we've held our opponents under 84, so 74 is really good for us. And especially in that fourth quarter, like we just played really good defense. We were switching, we were communicating. But I think just obviously you can start to tell like we're just getting more.
Well, she made headlines with her recent comments and sending shockwaves through the WNBA community. Known for her fearless playing style and unfiltered opinions, Clark didn't hold back when addressing the Minnesota Lynx and their head coach, Cheryl Reeve. In a recent post-game interview, Clark was asked about the Lynx' performance and strategy. Her response was incendiary, critiquing the Lynx' traditional play style as outdated and predictable in a league that is increasingly dynamic and fast-paced.
Able to get that done.
Defense. I think we won every single game. We've kept our opponents under 84 and obviously 74. So even though we probably didn't, shoot the ball the greatest, we just found a way to win. We're resilient. We came into the quarter down 7 and,
Clark's comments extended to player development, highlighting a lack of innovation and ineffective utilization of the younger players on the roster. This stinging criticism aligns with a growing sentiment among analysts that the Lynx need to adapt to stay competitive.
I told him I thought defensively we played again, mostly well enough to win. Our offense is putting so much pressure on our defense. Make one mistake and they score, and it just hurts you so bad because we're not.
Cheryl Reeve, a seasoned coach with multiple championships under her belt, responded calmly, acknowledging that every team has its critics and emphasizing the team's focus on their goals and continuous improvement. Despite her poise, it's evident that Clark's words have struck a chord. The basketball community is buzzing with reactions.
Back at people and really challenging. I mean, this isn't, Indiana's not a team that's hung their hat on their defense to this point. And so
fans and analysts are debating whether Clark's blunt assessment is a necessary wake-up call for the Lynx, or an overstep by a young player still proving herself. Regardless, one thing is certain, Caitlin Clark's voice is powerful, and when she speaks, the WNBA listens. Let's have a look into the game.
Some change left to play here in the first quarter. Caitlin Clark pulls it back, knocks it down, her third three of the quarter. First year with the Liberty and the WNBA.
Clark came to rule not just to play, she was clearly visible from the first whistle. Her first assist was artistic, weaving a labyrinth of defenders with a needle that landed precisely in her teammates' hands. The audience let out a blast. This type of performance makes one ask, why on earth did Reeve leave her out?
More steals per game than Minnesota, and underneath to Boston. That was a nice look from Smith.
Three-point shooter in her own right, the only person shooting better from the three by percentage than her team.
And then there came the three-pointer. With the defender in front of her, Clark sent the ball upward. Time slowed down, the audience let out a breath. Swish! The stadium erupted, and Clark's face was one of great will. I belong here, she was saying.
And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from three, will dip inside and lay it in. There are the first points in the WNBA.
If you have been following Clark's path, you are aware she arrived in the WNBA under much buzz. The change was not smooth, however. Those first games had flashes of genius, combined with rookie nerves. Looking ahead now, we find a rather different player. Confident, composed, dominant.
Caitlin, wow, that was a really good, as Lainey Hamilton has been to Caitlin Clark all night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Clark connects on a deep three. Going back and forth.
The young one here.
Spend some time recognizing her development. She may have hesitated on that improbable pass or second-guessed the deep shot early in the season. No more. Playing with the elegance of a seasoned professional, Clark makes rapid judgments that leave her opponent scrambling. Recall that old trend? 5 games with the most points ever recorded by a WNBA rookie. This is hard work, devotion, and an unquenchable spirit, not just of skill. Clark is improving the whole squad, not just doing well. She was everywhere facing the Lynx, arranging the attack, driving to the hoop, playing strong defense. Reeve has a game plan to confine her. inefficient. Reading the defense like a book, Clark was one step ahead, grabbing every opening. Her performance went beyond just scoreability. Those 3 rebounds and 6 assists are very important. Every performance she gave appeared to inspire her group. They ate off her desire, her vision, her vitality. The Fever's triumph was evidence of Clark's impact on the court, not just a win. One very memorable scene was the last minutes when the game hung on a knife edge. In a flash, Clark faked a shot, biting 2 defenders, and then transferred the ball to Aaliyah Boston for a simple basket. That represents judicial vision on even another level, people. Not less important is her defense. Clark has improved here rather remarkably. She is making smart plays, anticipating motions, and utilizing her body better. She is developing the whole package rather than only a one-dimensional performer. Regarding that three-pointer right now, you are familiar with the one. Defender all over her, Clark shoots and collapses to the ground as the ball arcs precisely into the goal. That shot was a dagger, a momentum mover that charged her teammates and the audience more than 3 points. Still, it was a team effort, even if Clark excelled. Leading with 71 points, Aaliyah Boston was a force with 17 points and 16 rebounds. Nalissa Smith contributed 11 vital points. Still, Clark's leadership was the binding agent keeping everything together. Reeve created defensive plans meant to thwart Clark, but she managed to influence the game. This illustrates her change from the beginning of the season. Clark is prospering, not just surviving. She is improving the surroundings. This 81-74 triumph was a message more than simply a win. The Fever showed their promise, their tenacity, their capacity for competition with the finest. Clark also, she was central in all of it. For Clark, this triumph tasted good. It was all a statement, beating Reeve's squad, playing aggressively, demonstrating why she ought to have been on that Olympic roster. Coach Reeve, consider what you are losing out on. Rookie of the Year has a solid case from this performance. Clark is consistent, a leader, and adept at shining in pivotal events. Voters search for these kinds of attributes, and Clark has them in plenty. And the insane aspect as well, Clark is a novice still. She has plenty enough space to develop. Imagine her in a year or 2 if she is already having this type of effect right now. For this extraordinary ability, the heavens are the limit. It has been amazing how composed Clark is on the court. You could feel the anxiety and the urge to impress herself with every action at the beginning of the season. She is now performing as if the WNBA is her playground. She does not worry even in close games like this one versus the Lynx. Imagine a rookie dealing with a squad run under by someone who turned aside you from the national team, not Clark. Many would break with the strain. She trusted her teammates, played her game, and let her performance speak for itself. For the Fever, her presence on the court is a soothing agent. When she is guiding traffic, her colleagues engage in more assured play. Particularly for a rookie, this is a remarkable ability to instill such confidence and calmness. Clark does not hang her head, even under trying circumstances, like a missed shot or a poor pass. She is considering the next performance already. Her uniqueness comes from this forward-looking resilience. To be honest, it's difficult to imagine this is the same athlete that debuted only a few months earlier. Her quick acclimation to the league makes it easy to forget she is a rookie. MVP talks could not be far off if she continues to develop at this speed. Regarding MVP, we have the All-Star game coming up. There is much excitement about Clark's involvement. Her jersey sales ran out in 18 minutes. For a beginner, it is unearthly. For those who have been seeing her magic on the court, however, it is not surprising. Her opportunity to really shine will be the All-Star game. Playing alongside and against the finest of the league will allow Clark to highlight why she fits. Imagine her striking a trademark deep 3 before a crowded audience. It promises to be a show. Her All-Star performance is much anticipated and off the scale. Will she keep her cool, or will the thrill propel her to unprecedented heights? She will clearly be the center of attention. Everyone wants to see what this amazing rookie will accomplish going forward, including players, coaches, and fans. Remember, however, the All-Star game is the starting point. Drama still abound in the WNBA season. Every game will be another trial for Clark and the Fever as the pressure mounts. The tale of Caitlin Clark is playing out before our eyes and is one of victories, struggles, and excitement. Her development from her first game to her remarkable triumph versus the Lynx has been just amazing, and we are just beginning. Ahead come the All-Star game, the second half of the season, and maybe the playoffs. Every game provides yet another opportunity to see history being created. Let us now gently turn back a little and delve more into Caitlin Clark's path. Her basketball career spent years in development rather than starting in the WNBA. Growing up in Iowa, Clark was exceptional right away. She established records, dominated high school basketball, and won honors. Her brilliance was not overlooked. College scouts were waiting to sign her. Playing for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Clark soon became a household name. Her first season was very outstanding and she kept improving every year. She was among the most often discussed prospects in recent memory by the time she announced for the WNBA draft. Her promise caught Indiana Fever's attention and they selected her first choice. And Clark has been proving them accurate from the start. Her move into the professional ranks went more naturally than anybody could have predicted. Indeed, there were hiccups along the road, but her diligence and will set her apart. A club that had suffered in past seasons, the Fever suddenly renewed vitality under Clark. Her dynamic changed the squad with her enthusiasm, playfulness, and scoring touch. They were winning rather than just competing, and Clark was central in all of it. The fact that Clark is resilient adds even more appeal to her narrative. She has had disappointments, like being off the Olympic squad, but she has turned those events into fire. She is more concerned with establishing her value on the court than moping over the rejection. Every game, every one of which play, she is exposing the world they missed. Her capacity for leadership has also drawn attention. Though new, Clark's colleagues look up to her. She pushes herself and everyone around her to be better, modeling behavior. Though it's unusual for someone so young, this is one of the few factors guiding her toward brilliance. Clark has influence outside of the court as well. For young athletes, particularly females hoping to play basketball at the greatest level, she has grown to be a role model. Her path is evidence of the results of enthusiasm, diligence, and commitment. She is an inspiration as much as a basketball player. In the neighborhood, Clark has also been causing stir. She participates in many projects and uses her position to be giving back and changing things. She is dedicated to leveraging her achievements to benefit others, whether it means via youth clinics, charitable events, or speaking engagements. Looking forward, Caitlin Clark has a very bright future. Though it marks a major turning point, the All-Star Game is just one chapter in her life. New possibilities and challenges will present themselves in the second half of the WNBA season. Clark is ready to seize them. The playoff effort of the Fever will be a trial of their will and fortitude. They have glimpses of genius and a genuine chance to go far with Clark leading the charge. Though it will not be simple, nothing worthwhile has ever been. Crucially, Clark's development as a leader and player will determine. She has already proved she can rise to the situation. As the stakes become bigger, she will have to keep improving her performance. One thing we have discovered about Caitlin Clark, however, is that she excels under duress. Her path is hardly done. Her development as the player she is now has been molded by the lessons she has acquired, the obstacles she has surmounted, and the successes she has enjoyed. And while she negotiates the highs and lows of a professional basketball career, they will still help to define her. Thus, let's value the extraordinary skill and will Caitlin Clark has shown thus far as we follow her path. Let's honor her accomplishments and assist her through difficult times. And let's savor the few fascinating events yet to come. As the season progresses, all eyes will be on the Minnesota Lynx to see if they respond to this public challenge or continue on their current path. One thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark has added another layer of excitement and intrigue to the league. What people do you think? Would Clark rule the All-Star Game? Can she guide the Fever toward the playoffs? Comments let you share your ideas. Hearing what each of you believes about this amazing trip excites me. Remember to subscribe and press the bell symbol if you like this analysis and want to remain current with everything basketball. We have rather more fascinating material just ahead. Appreciate you seeing. See you in the future video.
To surpass expectations, already taking down one of the league's very best.
This is what Angel Reese does.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have brought limelight to the WNBA in recent times. With their rivalry from college into the WNBA, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have become among the most well-known players in women's basketball. Their interactions have often attracted great attention since they highlight their skill and fierce competitiveness.
Clark trying to come back to it. Clark shakes Van Lith into the lane, gets fouled by Reese. And then Angel Reese takes a tumble afterwards.
Let's backtrack a bit. At the University of Iowa, where her remarkable court vision and scoring prowess distinguished her, Clark first created waves. Having an average of 27.8 points per game in her sophomore year, she guided the country in scoring. Among her many honors was the Dawn Staley Award for the top guard in women's collegiate basketball.
As Caitlin Clark is going to go to the line to shoot two, and oh no, oh no. Oh my goodness.
Conversely, Reese became known at the University of Maryland as a powerful presence. Her defensive skills and rebounding ability much enhanced her game. She was instrumental in LSU's strong runs in the NCAA tournament and enabled them to earn many Big Ten championships.
The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
During their collegiate years, especially in the 2023 NCAA tournament, Clark and Reese's rivalry became more intense. In the national championship game, a game watched almost 10 million times, Reese's LSU squad defeated Clark's Iowa. Reese's taunting of Clark in the last seconds of that game went viral and stoked their fierce competitiveness.
Now we see Aaliyah Del Rosario come into the game for LSU. She played incredibly well in the Sweet 16.
Brings great size and strength on the interior.
The following year, Clark and the Hawkeyes exacted their retribution in the Sweet 16, effectively ending LSU's campaign. This triumph opened the path for their professional careers and gave their legendary rivalry yet another chapter.
Caitlin Clark is different from any other player we have ever seen.
For Angel Reese, it is her size, her speed, and her strength.
As one entered the WNBA, the expectations of both players were great. Reese was chosen 8th by the Chicago Sky. Clark was selected as the #1 overall choice by the Indiana Fever in the WNBA Draft 2024. Their transition to the professional stage ensured that their duels would continue, drawing even more attention to their matchups.
Thing from us this year, it's been a harder path because we all have felt the expectations as the defending champs and obviously as a team that gets a whole lot of it.
In their first WNBA matchup, Clark proved why she was the top choice. From the outset, she commanded the floor, guiding her team's plays and aggressively driving to the hoop. Her confident play was clear, and she was willing to attempt huge shots when they mattered. Aaliyah Boston made tremendous screens for Clark, allowing room for her to execute her hallmark shots with accuracy.
Here comes Caitlin. She loves transition. Martin from the corner.
Was worried about getting into foul trouble with their bigs. Keep throwing it inside.
Clark's effect was not limited to scoring. She played a significant part in setting up her teammates, providing shooting chances, and increasing the team's overall performance. Her play in this game highlighted her attacking skill and devotion to defense.
Someone on her that doesn't exactly have that kind of size just seemed a little criminal in my opinion, because Caitlin ate every time, even over that extended arm of Angel Reese. Caitlin gets the shot off, and then
late in the third quarter, the game took a dramatic turn as Reese escalated her intensity. Reese tried to block Clark as she drove toward the basket, but she ended up striking Clark across the face. The officials first reported it as a common foul, but after inspection, they decided the contact was deliberate and changed it to a flagrant foul.
Clark and the Fever started 0-5 on the season, but there's no doubt this young squad is starting to find its stride.
Caitlin Clark celebrates her first win in the WNBA.
Clark was unaffected even in this passionate moment. Her team had a vital lead since she sank the 2 technical free throws. This episode seemed to strengthen her will only. Her unrelenting drive was evident when she scored 9 points in the third quarter's last 5 minutes.
Another. Clark. Too much space.
You cannot put your hands down. Understanding what your strengths and weaknesses are, knowing that Iowa likes to run, so transition deep.
Additionally, Clark's defensive abilities were on exhibit. The top scorer for the Sky, Marina Mabry, tried to throw off Clark with a screen. Still, Clark resisted and blocked Mabry's three-pointer try. Grabbing the opportunity, Clark moved quickly to attack, running a pick and roll with Boston, which resulted in a vital laydown.
The highest since 2015, and that's as far back as our records go, as round 3 between Indiana and Chicago is underway.
Clark moved around a screen for the last play of the game, pulling up from deep and striking a 30-footer that drove the Fever ahead by 7 points. Emphasizing her ability to rise to the occasion under great pressure, Clark celebrated her clutch performance, and the arena burst into cheers.
I mean, the three-point contest can't wait for this year after what Sabrina Ionescu did last year. And you got Team USA against Team All-Stars. Clark connects on her third 3 of the game.
Their second consecutive triumph against their Midwest rivals. The Fever's 91-83 victory over the Sky, with a game-high 23 points, almost a triple-double with 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Clark performed absolutely outstanding. Only 4 WNBA players have matched this stat line. Thus, Clark is the only rookie to do so.
Another. Clark. Too much space.
You cannot put your hands down. Understanding what your strengths and weaknesses are, knowing that Iowa likes to run, so transition deep.
Reese voiced annoyance with the officials' classification of her contact with Clark as a flagrant foul following the game. She defended her actions, stating that she couldn't control the referees and felt they affected the game significantly.
Into Boston, Clark gets knocked down, no call. Here comes Mitchell, dancing through the lane, scoops it in. Kelsey Mitchell's downhill attack.
This incident wasn't the first contentious moment for Reese this season. Earlier in the month, she was ejected from a game against the New York Liberty after quickly picking up 2 technical fouls. The WNBA later overturned the second technical, acknowledging that she should not have been ejected.
Boston, who also has a 15-5-5 game today. Here's Clark, catch, fire, and connect! 5th 3 of the game.
Reese's series of controversial calls add complexity to her first season in the league. Despite these challenges, she has also displayed her abilities, tying a WNBA rookie record with her 6th consecutive double-double in the same game, gathering 11 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists.
3-second difference, game and shot clock. Here is Mabry, dumping it in. Cardoso the catch and the finish. Here's Cardoso working Boston.
Clark's season has been remarkable. Averaging 16.1 points per game, she ranks 17th among elite scorers in the league. Her impressive scoring ability is exactly what made her a prime target for the league's best defenders. In just her first 15 games, she has already faced 14 former all-defensive players.
Her field goal percentages actually go up. Clark trying to draw the foul. Referee signaled to count it.
Despite the intense scrutiny, Clark has maintained a high level of production and poise. Her standout performances have marked her as the top rookie and ensured she is a focal point in every opponent's game plan.
Pace the other way. First in the league in fast break points.
Clark connects on a deep 3. Conference will then advance to.
Reese and Clark's rivalry has quickly become one of the most captivating narratives in women's basketball. Each game adds a new layer to their competition, drawing significant attention and showcasing their undeniable talent.
Well, you know, it's meeting number 2. Let's do, how about a couple of tips to get this thing going? Eric Bruton is our crew chief. Fatu Sissoko Stevens, Jenna Renew are our officials here today.
Their encounters, beginning in college, have progressively drawn more viewers. They played a pivotal role in setting a record for the most watched women's college basketball game in 2023, attracting nearly 10 million viewers. This record was broken again the following spring, with 12 million fans watching their clash for a spot in the Final Four. As professionals, their rivalry continues to be a major draw. Their first WNBA meeting this season pulled in 1.5 million viewers, marking it as the 4th largest audience for a WNBA game in the last 2 decades. The professional careers of Reese and Clark are just beginning, but their rivalry is already defining their trajectories in the WNBA. Every time they face off, the court becomes a stage for high-level competition, captivating audiences and turning each game into a must-see event. Their intense rivalry and undeniable talent propel women's basketball into a new era of recognition and excitement.
In Iowa City.
Clark's consistent performance, resilience under pressure, and ability to handle aggressive plays highlight her as a key player in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's remarkable journey from college basketball to the WNBA has been characterized by her exceptional skills, competitive spirit, and ability to thrive under pressure. Her ongoing rivalry with Angel Reese continues to draw significant attention, shaping their careers and adding to the narrative of women's basketball. Clark's ability to maintain composure and deliver under pressure has been a defining aspect of her game. Her performance in clutch moments has often been the difference maker for her team. This mental toughness is a trait that sets her apart from many other players. In addition to her scoring, Clark's playmaking ability has been crucial for the Indiana Fever. She consistently finds ways to involve her teammates, making everyone around her better. This unselfish style of play is one reason why she has been so successful in both college and the WNBA. Clark's defensive improvements have also been noteworthy. Initially targeted by opposing offenses, she has adapted and shown significant growth in her defensive game. Her ability to read plays and make crucial stops has become an asset for her team. Reese, while a formidable opponent, has had a more tumultuous start to her WNBA career. Her aggressive style has led to several controversial calls, which have sometimes overshadowed her contributions on the court. However, her ability to secure rebounds and impact the game defensively remains impressive. The dynamics of the Clark-Reese rivalry continue to evolve with each game. Their confrontations are not only about individual performances, but also about how they raise their respective clubs. This constant battle is a crucial narrative in the WNBA, engaging fans and media attention alike. Both players are aware of the spotlight on them and have embraced their roles as leaders. Their rivalry is a testament to their competitive nature and desire to be the best. It pushes them to new heights and ensures that their encounters are always must-watch events. Clark's leadership extends beyond the court. Her poise in handling media and public attention demonstrates maturity beyond her years. She is a role model for young athletes, showing that success comes from hard work, dedication, and maintaining a positive attitude under pressure. Reese's journey, while different, also highlights important lessons. Her resilience in facing criticism and her ability to bounce back from setbacks are commendable. These qualities will undoubtedly help her as she continues to develop her game in the WNBA. The impact of the Clark-Reese rivalry extends beyond the court. It has brought more visibility to women's basketball, attracting new fans and increasing media coverage. This increased attention is vital for the growth of the sport and the recognition of the athletes' talents. As the season progresses, the anticipation for their next matchup continues to build. Every game gives their rivalry a fresh chapter and crafts a story that enthralls viewers. Their performances support the larger narrative of women's basketball and help their teams flourish. A trademark of Clark's career has been her capacity for clarity and performance under pressure. Her clutch performances are not just about scoring, but also about making the right plays at the right times. This basketball IQ is what makes her such a valuable player. Reese's physicality and presence in the paint are crucial for the Chicago Sky. Her ability to dominate the boards and alter shots makes her a defensive anchor for her team. Despite the controversies, her contributions are undeniable. The future of women's basketball looks bright, with players like Clark and Reese leading the way. Their rivalry is a microcosm of the competitive spirit and talent that exists in the league. It sets the stage for exciting games and memorable moments. In conclusion, the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is one of the most compelling storylines in women's basketball today. Their competitive nature, combined with their exceptional skills, ensures that their matchups are always highly anticipated. Clark's remarkable journey, characterized by her resilience and clutch performances, continues to inspire fans and elevate the sport.